These are serious times, Atlanta. With open contempt for the law, this president has launched a power grab unprecedented in our history. Abusing his power and trying to poison our democracy with fear and intimidation. In his first 100 days, he set free criminals who did violence on his behalf. He purged independent watchdogs across the government who investigate corruption and abuse. He stacked the most powerful offices with personal loyalists and then called on those same loyalists to investigate and prosecute his opponents. He's undermined the freedom of the press. He's retaliated against lawyers who have opposed him in court. He's defied and threatened federal judges. And he's given massive and unaccountable power to the richest man in the world who spent $300 million to elect him president of the United States. Now, Atlanta, this is not a drill. Atlanta, this is not a bad dream. As citizens, this is the test of our lifetime. So tell me, Atlanta, are you ready to fight? Yeah! Let's go! Are you ready to fight, Atlanta? Look, maybe right now you feel surrounded by darkness. You might be a little numb. You might be wondering if there's a way out. But Atlanta, we don't have the luxury of despair because there are so many counting on us. Children and pregnant women who rely on Medicaid. Veterans who have earned their care and benefits. Children in our public schools. Cancer patients counting on the next big breakthrough. An entire world hoping the United States has not given up on freedom. My little girl and all our children who deserve to grow up in a kind and fair and decent country. The truth is, beyond personal revenge, there's not much to this president's agenda. It's tax breaks for the rich and rounding up immigrants. That's the whole program. We've seen the bill, paid for by blowing out the deficit, cutting Medicaid, and trying to close the new factories we helped open that make chips and solar panels and electric vehicles. That's the whole agenda. Let me ask you, yes or no? Will your family's life improve because we borrow trillions of dollars to cut taxes for the wealthiest people in the country? Will your family's life improve because our military bases become prison camps for immigrants? When Medicaid covers nearly half of the births in our state, 2/3 of all seniors in nursing homes, 40% of children, will your family's life improve because they gut Medicaid? And none of this is on the administration's agenda. They just do not care. They do not care. Trump's cabinet is worth like $60 billion. That's not even including Elon. They are literally the elites they pretend to hate. The president is not at his palace in Florida thinking about whether you can afford daycare for your daughter, or how to stop insurance companies from denying your claim, or anything that matters to our daily lives. When is the last time you even heard Donald Trump talk about health care or child care? He's talking about invading Greenland. He's handing your data over to Elon Musk. By the way, I'm all for government efficiency. And government programs aren't sacred, they have to work. But when you randomly fire tens of thousands of people, no matter what role they fill, no matter how well they're performing, and then you have to scramble to fire them back because you accidentally fired the people who run the Veterans Crisis Line, and you accidentally fired the people who watch out for Ebola at the CDC, and you accidentally fired the people who fight bird flu on our poultry farms, and the people who protect our nuclear weapons. When you shut down research into Alzheimer's treatments and cures for childhood cancer, that's not efficiency. That's just cruelty and chaos. Secretary of Commerce is pumping up Tesla stock. The White House has been converted into a Tesla showroom, while Elon's money is what keeps Republican senators in check. But the truth is, The truth is that corruption in America runs a lot deeper than Donald Trump. He's not just a beneficiary of it. His rise is a symptom of it. Citizens United was the most destructive court decision in modern American history. The entire political system is just overrun by outside money. Members of Congress live in fear of these super PACs. It's not just Elon. Senators get threatened with $5, $25, $50 million of opposition over individual votes on a whole range of issues. And see, this is why things don't work for ordinary people. It's not because of trans kids or woke college students. It's not because of our new arch enemy, Canada. The corruption is why you pay a fortune for prescriptions. The corruption is why your insurance claim keeps getting denied. The corruption is why hedge funds get to buy up all the houses in your neighborhood and Congress doesn't do anything about it. See, this is why so many have lost faith in our system. Because the system really is rigged. But Trump's not unrigging it, he's re-rigging it for himself. But right now, even more corrosive than the chaos and the corruption is the fear. This administration is trying to poison our democracy with fear and intimidation. His goal is not just revenge. He wants to use the government to crush the opposition. And this is actually something we have never faced before. Not like this. Before you elected me, I led a team that exposed corruption and war crimes. We exposed the truth in places where criticizing the government is dangerous, where whistleblowers and witnesses will only meet in secret, where protest carries the risk of prosecution. And the atmosphere in America under Donald Trump reminds me more and more of those places. I've heard it in my office from some of the most powerful to some of the least. They say, we don't need a federal investigation. They say, we're not sticking our necks out right now. They say, we don't want any trouble. See, Americans are now living in fear of their own government. And it's not just here at home. People from around the world who want to do business and research and tourism here are now being advised by their governments not to visit the United States because civil rights and civil liberties are eroding here so swiftly. When I first ran for Congress 8 years ago, it was because I saw the election of someone so unfit for the presidency as a danger to the country. And you all got behind me because you saw the same thing. And when we won the Senate, it was because we still understood together the urgency and the necessity of the moment, and we knew Georgia could lead the way. And now each morning when I look at my beautiful 3-year-old girl and her sweetness and that magical, hopeful innocence and potential, I realize we have no choice but to keep going, Georgia. We have no choice. Because I don't want my little girl to grow up in a hopelessly divided country where citizens fear their own government, which has become an instrument of repression and revenge. I don't want her to grow up in a world where freedom is in retreat. I want her to grow up in an America that continues to lead the free world, where diversity is celebrated instead of mocked, with leaders who bring us together and inspire us to be honest and decent and kind. The measure of our success is not how many of the poorest and most vulnerable families we hunt down and shackle and imprison and deport. The measure of our success is whether each generation achieves greater health and prosperity than the last, and whether we live up to the promise of equal justice for all. Again, thank you all. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you so much. Thank you.